Hey, it's Allie Edwards and welcome back to December Daily for 2022. Today I'm working on story number 15 in my project, and I want to tell the story of an overnight trip that Aaron and I took down to visit my parents on the coast. My son Simon was already there. He had been staying there for a few days, and so I have multiple photos that I want to use, and I'm going to pair them with this enlarged photo of Simon and my mom dancing. Simon took a Latin dance class this term, and so they were playing around and doing a little dancing. I loved that as my focal photo, or as my big foundation photo for the day. On top of that, I have the transparency, the grid transparency that was included in our specialty paper pack this time. And then I've cropped my photos, and these are already cropped to size. Let me get that size. So I cropped each of my photos to 2.25 by 1.75, which is a size inside of each one of these little grid shapes here. I'm going to cut them out, and I'm going to organize them here on this transparency and adhere them back to back. So there'll be one on this side and one on the other side. So I kind of need to decide how many of those do I want to use. It's possible that I might cut this down, like cut off one edge of this. And then the other thing that I'm thinking about doing, so it's possible that I might add my journaling onto some of those spots, right? Just probably some things about what I want to remember about this. But the other thing that I was thinking about doing, and that I'm still considering doing, is I love this ampersand that was from our numbers scrapbook kit, and I have one of the 3x8 transparencies in here, and I kind of like the idea of doing some layering, like maybe even cutting out these transparencies, the little wreaths, and using these gold foil circles on the inside of them and having the journaling be on here. But I could also do something like that over here and just have it be this page and then use this for something else. So those are a few of the things that I'm thinking about right now. I want to start just by getting my photos cropped, getting them on here. Probably going to use this 15 just because I really like those chipboard numbers this year, and they're super easy to add in. So yeah, that's where I'm starting today, and we'll see where we end up with this one. All right, so this is another example of working with multiple photos, right? So I've trimmed all my photos or cropped all my photos to that specific 2.25 by 1.75, and then I'm just using my Fiskars trimmer to cut them all out. I sized them in Photoshop and then put them on a 8.5 by 11 canvas and then printed them here at home. Now at this point in the process, I also am trimming out my large photo. This is sized 11 inches wide by 8.25 tall. After I got all of those photos trimmed, then I am starting to lay them out on the transparency there. In the beginning, I wasn't sure if I wanted to use the full page or if I wanted to cut it down a little bit. I do end up cutting it down a bit after I looked at my photos and thought a little bit about which ones could I have on the front and then how many did I need on the back based on the number that I wanted on the front. So I'm getting that set up on there, and then I will be going through the process of using rolling adhesive to adhere them down. I made them, these are smaller than the actual space or the actual rectangle space on there because I wanted it to be like that the lines that are on the transparency are kind of acting as frames, and that's what is ending up happening here. So I'm going ahead and I'm adhering onto the back. I am going to end up moving one of those. Normally when I do something like this, I like to have variety in the placement, and this was a little bit too symmetrical for me. I tried a couple different things, and then I was like, no, this is not going to work like this, and you'll see where I adjust that. Going ahead and punching the holes so that I can add this directly into my album. I also was paying attention as I was arranging the photos on there. I loved to be able to peek through and see my mom on the other side there on that enlarged photo. So that was definitely kept in mind as I was organizing my pictures. Added a tab sticker, a red tab sticker that says family along the outside edge. I love that pop of red. And then I also grabbed another one of the puffy circles from the main kit and pulled off the backing, and planning that I will add this either on the front or the back. At this point I wasn't really sure, but I'd already pulled off the backing and was getting ready. I
went through a number of different ideas. I cut out some of the video where I was just going back and forth on things. In the end, what I decided to do was use the same shape of the photos. I came over to my computer, that same 2.25 by 1.75 rectangle, and I made a black background and then did white text on top. I printed this on photo paper because I like the way that it looks on the glossy photo paper. And I did enough. I did 6 of them so that I could have 3 on the front and 3 on the back. And this pretty much details the story of going down and visiting my parents and going to see the lights where we went, and my parents and Simon cooking a big dinner and then going down on the beach. And that's pretty much tells the story of that there. I really like the black with the white text as well. So you can see I did pull off another one of those puffy stickers too. And then after multiple back and forths on a wide number of things that I also cut out of the video this time, I went ahead and am using the same number stickers that I used yesterday from my stash, and I am adding them onto one of the gold rimmed circles there. Those are I think they're 1.5 inch circles. And those are great for stamping on, or you can add stickers onto them. In this case, you can see that I added the 15, and then I added a little bit of the red embroidery floss that I've been doing throughout the album. How We Do Christmas got adhered onto the back of that one. I looked through my stash and I found these stars. I have a bunch of these acrylic stars from a variety of past offerings that we have had. So I'm adding 2 onto my full page photo, and then I added another one onto the photo of my parents in the grid. I also added a word phrase sticker under one of the photos, a red and white word phrase sticker. What I'm doing right now is I am adding some of those Tim Holtz rub-ons that I've been enjoying this year. I'm adding those directly onto a second gold circle that can then go on the back of the number circle. There, you'll see it get stuck right down. I'm also adding a little tiny star brad that I had in my stash because I liked the way that looked. So I'm pushing the feet down. I'm going to press it down a little bit with my bone folder in just a second here, and then adhere it to the back. I really like how this one turned out. Definitely photo and word focused. And we'll see you guys back here again tomorrow.